She texted me, "I miss my ex," while I was covered in blood saving a child. So I sold the ring, invested in real loyalty, and left her life in ruins. She texted me out of nowhere, "I miss my ex." 3 simple words. No context. No explanation. Just a confession dropped like a grenade right in the middle of my shift. At that exact moment, I was elbow deep in another human being's tragedy. 4 cars, 1 semi, black ice on the interstate. I had been on duty since 6 that morning, and midnight was closing in fast. My hands were shaking from exhaustion as I pressed down on the chest of a young kid who would probably never walk again. That's when my watch buzzed with her name, Sienna. And those words. My partner Carlos saw my face as we loaded the kid into the ambulance. "You good?" he asked. My gloves were soaked in blood when I pulled them off, fingers trembling as I typed back a single line. "Then go back." Right after that, I blocked her everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp. Every door slammed shut between the back of the ambulance and the hospital doors. Carlos shook his head. "Garrett, what the hell?" But I didn't have time to explain. The emergency room doors flew open and we were in motion again, shoving the gurney through chaos and screaming. Being a paramedic teaches you one brutal skill: to box up your feelings, shove them into a dark corner, and deal with them later. So that's what I did. I finished my shift. I saved who I could. I lost one. I did the paperwork. I sat through the debrief. And all the while, her words rattled around in my skull like loose bullets. When I finally dragged myself home at 4 in the morning, her car was already gone. Good. But her belongings were still scattered around half-packed boxes. The apartment smelled like her perfume and something sour. Maybe guilt. Maybe just the ghost of 3 years about to burn to ashes. I cracked open a beer, sat down on the couch in my blood-stained uniform, and that's when I saw it. Her jacket tossed over the kitchen chair. The same one she wore to work every day. Inside the pocket was a hotel keycard. Not from the place she worked. She was an event coordinator at the Meridian across town. This key was for the Grandview. The timestamp? 2 weeks ago. The same weekend I pulled a double to cover another guy's shift. My chest didn't burn with rage. It just went cold. Like ice. Her iPad was sitting right on the coffee table. Still logged in because I had set it up for her, and she never bothered changing passwords. I knew I shouldn't look, but I did, and what I found hollowed me out. Hundreds of messages. Not just to Donovan, the ex who supposedly broke her heart beyond repair, but enough timestamps to make me sick. While I was working doubles to afford the ring she pointed out, she was sneaking into hotel rooms. While I was talking to my mom about getting a bigger place together, she was sending him photos from our bed, wearing the jewelry I had given her. I laughed. I actually laughed sitting there at 4:30 in the morning, looking at proof that my girlfriend had been living a double life. It felt like I was reading a stranger's Reddit post instead of my own reality. The worst part? The planning. She had screenshotted my work schedule from our shared calendar and sent it to him. Every double shift I pulled for our future was an invitation for them. I scrolled through photo after photo. Lingerie I bought. The necklace I gave her. All for him. My phone buzzed. Carlos checking in. "You okay? That call tonight was rough." I typed back, "Yeah, just found out my girlfriend's been cheating for months. But the kid made it. So win some, lose some." By dawn, I was sitting with the ring box I had hidden in my locker. $8,000 over 12 months. For months already paid. 2 weeks from Christmas, I had been planning to propose. And now I was staring at a future that didn't exist. At 5:47 in the morning, I drove to a pawn shop. The old Serbian guy behind the counter looked at me, still in my bloody uniform, and offered me $3,400. I shoved the box across the counter. Deal. With that cash sitting heavy in a manila envelope on my lap, I thought about rent. Thought about savings. Thought about starting over. But then I thought about Lena Rodriguez, my partner's wife, a single mom running a small catering business from her kitchen. She had always been kind to me, fed me when I was broke during training, loaned me a table when my apartment flooded, never asked for anything back. And she was struggling. She needed a kitchen rental, a delivery van, even posted once about needing money for daycare before deleting it. So I wired $2,000 straight to her business account. Then drove to a used car lot and bought a white van for $1,400. Dropped it right in front of her apartment while she was rolling dough for a church order. Her son Mateo ran around in dinosaur pajamas as I handed her the keys. She burst into tears, saying she couldn't accept it. I told her it wasn't charity. It was an investment in real loyalty. She hugged me so hard I could barely breathe. Hours later, she was already posting about dreams coming true while Sienna was busy uploading Marilyn Monroe quotes about following your heart, even when it's complicated. The contrast was blinding. By that evening, Lena had landed 2 corporate Christmas parties. My phone had 17 missed calls from Sienna. I deleted them all. By nightfall, I was finally ready to sleep, until a message from an unknown number popped up. It was from Donovan, her ex, and what he sent made my blood run cold. Donovan's message said, "We need to talk. She's not who you think she is. I have proof." Against my better judgment, I met him at a diner. He looked polished, expensive watch, sharp suit, but his face was worn down from stress. He told me flat out that he never wanted her back, that she had been harassing him for months. He showed me messages, walls of text, photos she had sent him from my apartment, from my bed, wearing gifts I bought. And worse, she had been lying to him about me, telling him I was just a roommate, that we had broken up months ago. Every time I worked a shift, she stalked him. Parking garages, client dinners, fake emergencies. He even had security footage of her showing up at his properties when she knew I was at work. But what truly shattered me was when he showed evidence that she tried to sabotage Lena's business. She approached him 2 weeks earlier, asking him to invest in a competing catering startup. She promised him inside information about Rodriguez's contracts and pricing, information she could only have overheard through me. That's when I realized she didn't just betray me. She was trying to destroy people I cared about. Donovan then slid a folder across the table. Inside were documents, screenshots, and names of 3 other men she had been involved with. A surgeon, a fitness trainer, and a bartender. All overlapping. All lied to. One thought I was her gay best friend. Another thought she was separated. Another thought she was single. The web of lies was endless. And just when I thought it couldn't get worse, Donovan's phone buzzed. A message told me to check my work email. Sure enough, there it was. An HR complaint filed 20 minutes earlier. She had twisted screenshots to accuse me of harassment, claimed I was unstable, claimed she feared for her safety. By the time I reached the station, she was already there, telling everyone we were engaged and that I was spiraling. Security escorted her out while my chief looked at me with concern. I showed him everything. The hotel records, the messages, the PI report Donovan brought. The chief's face shifted from worry to disgust. Take the week off paid. Document everything. This woman is unhinged. Hours later, her mother called me, apologizing, telling me they always knew about her patterns, that she had pulled the same stunts in college, in jobs before me. They hoped I would fix her. But that's not how life works. 6 months passed. I had moved into a new apartment. Lena's business exploded after landing a huge municipal contract. She had a fleet of vans now, employees in uniforms, and a local news feature calling her an inspiration. She posted online, "Sometimes angels come in paramedic uniforms." That day, I got a final message from Donovan. She moved to Arizona. Thought you should know. Good. Let her be someone else's problem. Meanwhile, Lena texted me to celebrate their new hospital contract. I grabbed a bottle of whiskey, the kind that didn't taste like betrayal, because some investments pay dividends you never expect. And some people, they're just lessons about what real loyalty looks like.